Welcome back to SwitchOff South Africa. I'm Nicky as always. And before I tell you about this very expensive VW over here, guys, we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We really are almost there. We're on around 43 last time I checked. Guys, please subscribe to this channel. Head over to the traveling channel because that channel is actually also popping off. I think we're on 30,000 subscribers that side. I want us to get to 10,000. And then the gaming channel, and I keep saying the gaming channel because that one, I think that's the future, you know, the gaming channel. But in our soft promo today, I'm going to tell you about this very expensive Volkswagen Tayron and why I'm not a fan of it. And the only thing that's letting it down, well, two things that's letting it down, is essentially the engine and the price. But in this review, I'm going to tell you all of that. I'm going to show you the exterior look of the vehicle, interior look of the vehicle, this being the life, because you guys always comment, Nicky, you always get the R line, get the one that we can afford, in quotation marks, get the normal one. So I spoke to VW and I asked for the Volkswagen Tayron, and I told them, don't give me the R line, I want the life model, which is this one. And I'm going to tell you, is there a need to go for the R line version of this vehicle, or just ignore the vehicle as a whole? So starting with the exterior of the vehicle, you get your LED daytime running lights over here, which double up as your indicators. Your headlamps are over here. Then over here, it's also a light bar, and this light bar also lights up your badge. It illuminates your badge as well as at the back, so that's a very nice feature. But up front, being the life model, you can see that it doesn't look as aggressive as an R version of this vehicle looks. You should be seeing the R version on the overplays videos, because we did actually do a summary of that one at the launch. So if you want to see the R, let's just say you don't want to see the one I'm reviewing, the life, you want to see the R, because actually the R has a lot more features, head over to my launch video of this vehicle. You will see it there, but you get a different design front bumper. You get your front sensors over here, and then it also uses, for your adaptive cruise, it uses the badges over there so you can sense the car in front. But up front is very simple, nothing too fancy. When you come to the side profile of the vehicle, you get these 18-inch alloy wheels as standard. You can upgrade them to the 19s on this one. You don't have to go for the R line to get the 19s. You can pay an optional amount of money for the wheels, but I think there's really no need. If you're going for the life, there's no need for you to upgrade the exterior. Just go for the R line if you want the exterior update. Then you get your indicators integrated into your side mirrors over here, chrome surrounds, because this is not like a black edition or anything like that. And another thing that I like about this vehicle is in terms of the door, the whole door open, so it keeps your pants quite clean. And then this one has an optional extra of the glass sliding panoramic sunroof. I think that's around 20,000 rand optional extra. When you move on to the back, you can see that it's quite long. What is this vehicle? I'm sure you guys are wondering, why does VW have this vehicle? Is this like a bigger Tiguan? Essentially, yes, it is a bigger Tiguan. If you guys know, there was something called a Tiguan Allspace. This is essentially it. This is come to replace the Tiguan Allspace. So there is no Tiguan Allspace anymore. There's just a Tiguan and a Tayron. A Tayron is the successor of the Tiguan Allspace. When you come to the back, you get your LED lights at the back. So these are IQ LED lights at the back. And then with the lights, the exact same thing as the front. It's a whole light bar that goes through the back, and your badge at the back also lights up. You get your Tayron badging over there, and they've kept it simple. You guys know on the channel, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, big ups to you. You guys know how much I don't like writing it's a 1.4 front wheel drive. I like the fact that they've kept it simple. And then those tow bar, it's 20,000 rand optional extra. So I've mentioned the tow bar 20,000, sunroof 20,000. There's a few other things that I'm trying to think of that I did put on the configurator on the VW SA website, and then the optional extras of this vehicle amount to 71,000 rand, and we'll speak about the actual price of this vehicle, and you guys will see at the end of the review. But this is essentially the vehicle at the back, nothing too fancy. You get a different design bumper when you go to the R line. This is the standard one. You can see there's a lot of plastic finishing over here and over here, so you can see, in quotation marks, the cheap effect in this vehicle, but this car's nowhere near being cheap. When you open the boot, do I have anything in the boot? Oh, I have a jacket. I have a jacket in the boot. Boot capacity, it is on the screen. You get quite decent boot capacity, and as you can see, this being the new Tiguan Allspace, you get your 6th and 7th seat, and for you to lift up your 6th and 7th seat, you essentially, there's this lever over here. You pull it. Oh my days. Give me a minute, guys. Wait, give me a minute. Yeah, there we go. you pull that lever, so you get your 6th and 7th seat. Obviously the seat is not going up because the second row seats are slightly a bit too far back, so it keeps hitting with that seat, but you can lift it up. And another thing, being as spacious as it is, you still get quite sufficient boot capacity over here, so you can put a few bags over here with the 2 seats up. But being a 6th and 7th seat, we'll speak about it in terms of the drive of the vehicle. Is it a good drive of the vehicle? Is the engine enough? And if you've watched my launch review, you already know what I think about the drive, but in this video I'm also going to tell you about that. Do you get a spare wheel? Yes, you do. So you get your load cover over here. The nice thing about what I like about this vehicle is that your load cover is that one over here. You can put it in and you also can put it away. So I like the fact that it has its own compartment. You do get a spare wheel. There's your spare wheel. It's your space saver spare wheel. If you don't know what a space saver spare wheel, it's a biscuit, or you know that small tire that you see on a car and you're like, ah man, this tire looks off. It's exactly that tire. So you get that as a spare wheel. It's called for temporary use only. Then that's essentially it. I think that's a very good addition that they've put. I won't lie, it's the first time I'm actually looking under here. I really thought you don't get a spare wheel, being the fact that you have a 6th and 7th seat. So the fact that they can put a tire underneath those seats says a lot. You get an electronic tailgate, and then that's essentially what the exterior of the vehicle. Let's hop into the interior. Let me show you a few things about the car. So when you get into the interior of the vehicle, it looks like a vehicle that you've been in before. If you've been in the latest Tiguan, if you've been in the latest Golf, you can see that this is the exact same type of setup. You get your steering wheel, which has your multifunctional buttons on the left hand side, right hand side. Left hand side controls your adaptive cruise control. The other features that I mentioned about that this car has an optional extra is your adaptive cruise control. You do get it on the left hand side over here. This controls your adaptive cruise control. On the right hand side controls your track selection, and then this part controls your digital instrument cluster. As you can see, that's the current view. If I press view, it will change up. It will show me my rev count on the left hand side. Right hand side will show me my speed. I press view again, it will show me that. Press view again, it'll go back to the normal one. But you can change it up. I can have something different on the left hand side over here and something different on this side. As you can see, there's nothing that side, but if I flicker it to this side, I can, let's say compass. Well, compass not available. Okay, let's go for something that will be available, navigation or average speed, for example. Then it will show me my average speed. So you can play around with it. It's actually a good feature. So I actually do like it. And then I can just close it up. So I'll take it back to audio. So that's essentially it. You get your touchscreen infotainment system over here, which supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly, and it does also work wired. It's currently, you can see there Nicky's iPhone, that's me obviously, and then you can press that, it'll connect to CarPlay. I'm just not going to do that now because I'm currently shooting. And then you get a lot. There's a lot to do within the vehicle. There's vehicle status. It can tell you what's wrong with the vehicle. Is the vehicle okay? Is everything fine? So these are the upgraded wheels I was speaking about when I said you can upgrade to 19s. These are the wheels you can upgrade. So you can see that everything is fine. It can tell you the mileage that the car currently has. And then there's a lot more things. This is the menu of the car. You can play around it. So there's a lot of things you can do with this vehicle. When you do get an opportunity to be in this vehicle, play around with it. Find out what you can do with the car. You can configure your home screen, have everything you need over here without having to faff around the touchscreen infotainment system. When you come to the lower end over here, this is where your climate control is. So if you want, as you can see there, it's getting to 16 degrees. If I increase, it's going to 21 and all that. So your climate control is over here. Then you can sync it. And then if you want the whole thing, you just press climber, and then the whole thing pops up over there. If I want it on the feet, I can have it on the feet. So those type of things. And then we move on to the lower end of the vehicle. Hazards button over there, and then over here it's like a storage compartment. Underneath you get 2 Type-C ports, and ideally this is where your wireless charging is, but this vehicle doesn't have wireless charging. What does that mean? Wireless charging is an optional extra, so you do get wireless charging in a Tayron, but you have to pay for it. And then you get your engine start-stop button over here, handbrake over here, and then this is your volume knob. You can press your volume knob. You can also click it down. It will go to drive mode, and you can have the car in sport, individual, so you don't have to actually go there. You can control everything here, and then you can press atmospheres, and then you can control it over here as well. So you can have it in me, minimal, energetic, joy, and lounge. You know, then you can click it again. It'll go to volume, click it down, drive profile. So change the color. It's currently in purple, but that's it. You get 2 cup holders over here. The cup holders, you can remove them and have a lot more storage space underneath here. But yeah, then if you want the cup holders, press and you click it back in, and you get the 2 cup holders. This one being the mid specification, you don't get leather seats. It's part leather. On the exterior it's leather, then in the interior is cloth, but you can opt for leather seats in this vehicle. And what does that mean? If you can opt for them, it's an optional extra. You get your glass sliding panoramic sunroof. How you operate it, essentially you just slide, it will open, and then you can stop it and then slide that away, it will close. And then if you wanted to pop, like right now it's closed, you wanted to pop, you just press like that, hold on, and then it pops. And then that's essentially the interior. Let me take you guys to the back and just to see the space at the back. So when you come to the back seats of the vehicle, you get this lever. You can actually make the seats a bit more comfortable, recline a bit, then you can sit comfortably. You get a decent amount of leg room, decent amount of headroom, considering that you also get a glass sliding panoramic sunroof. So it is quite decent. Another thing that I like about this vehicle is in terms of, you see with my feet, I can slide my feet underneath the seat and have actually a lot more leg room. And then if you move over to this side, you get your cup holders over here. Another thing I like about this vehicle, the cup holders aren't exposed. So when you're sitting, your cup holders are not, your hand is not going to be in the cup holders. Just slide that, click that, and your cup holders are there. So that's what I like about that. You get a 60-40 split. You don't get through loading. What is through loading? Loading something from there and through here without compromising the outer seats. And this one, unfortunately, actually, no, I'm lying. Wow, I was about to lie to you guys. You do get through loading. I was very surprised. You do get through loading, so I can actually load something and not compromise this seat and that seat. Whew, I almost lied. Yo, you guys are gonna have me in the comments. Oh, Nicky, you don't know your cars. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Let's go for a drive. And let me tell you why this engine is the wrong one to get. Well, you can opt for another one, but VW gave you this engine. So when it comes to the drive of the vehicle, when you look at the engine that's in this car, it's the exact same engine that's found in the Golf 8.5 TSI. And I know you guys are probably saying, yeah, but VW is sharing this engine because it's also found in the recently reviewed A3 that we did now. So under the hood, you're looking at a 1.4 liter turbocharged engine, which produces 110 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque through a 7-speed DSG gearbox. DSG gearbox is the gearbox that VW uses in majority of their vehicles, from the Polos all the way up to their performance vehicles. So that gearbox works perfect. For me, when I'm driving this vehicle, like how I am right now, myself and my cameraman, it's okay. The engine is fine, especially when you're on the highway. It'll get up to speed and it'll also cruise at illegal speeds. Decent enough. Illegal speeds being around 140 or so. I'm not saying like 180 or 200 or whatever, but around 140 it will cruise perfectly. It is fine. The problem comes when you're faced with an uphill overtake, for example, or an uphill, for example. The car will tend to just scream a bit more. And now being a 7-seater, that means you're a family person that's looking at buying this vehicle. You are gonna fill this vehicle up with people and luggage. So I actually haven't had an opportunity, unfortunately, so to fill up the car with like a good 7 people in it or 5 people and luggage. But basing it on how it performs when it's just 2 people, especially going uphill, I'd like to believe when there's a lot more people in the vehicle, the car will struggle. And this is where I come to a point and say, for me personally, VW kind of missed an opportunity to just come with like a 2-liter diesel in this model lineup, and not just the 1.4 or even a 2-liter would have sufficed, because the 1.4, it is underpowered for me in this vehicle. So I think you do need a bit more power, looking at what the person buying this vehicle will be doing with it. In terms of fuel efficiency, I've been averaging around 7 liters to the 100. On a full tank, this car came with like saying the range 720, I think, if I remember correctly. It's currently saying 640, which is actually quite insane, because I've actually done more than 200 Ks since I've had this vehicle. So that's actually good. So in terms of fuel efficiency, you won't have to worry if you're driving it alone on a day-to-day basis. Maybe a long distance trip with a lot of inclines, fully loaded, the fuel efficiency will be hindered. But other than that, it is a good vehicle. Is the engine a big impact into you buying the vehicle? I'd like to think so, because when you want a car like this, you want a car that will help you and be with you when you're actually driving, so that it won't struggle So when you look at the competition, there's 2 liters out there, there's 2.8 being the Fortuners, there's 3 liters being the Everest and all those type of things. From the 2 liters, I'm talking about the Cherries, the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro Max. It is a 2 liter with much more power than this. So when you weigh it down and look at it like that, the competition are slightly much better. Now we're at that important part of the review. I've told you all my thoughts about the car. Now we're at that part where I tell you about the pricing of the vehicle. This car, the life. We're not going to speak about the R-Line, the life. Okay, let's speak about the R-Line. The R-Line base, with no options, nothing. The R-Line starts at 899,000 Rand, essentially 900,000 Rand. This specific one is priced at 853,000 Rand without options. With options, so with the options that this one has, it has options worth of 71,000 Rand. You're looking at paying basically 925,000 Rand, more than a base R-Line. So it's a food for thought. Do you go for a base R-Line or go for a life with a few options? And when you go for an R-Line, you opt the options on the R-Line close to 1 million or over 1 million Rand. So then it comes to that important question. Is it worth the amount of money? I personally, I do not think so. I don't think it's worth that amount of money. Personally, looking at the competition, looking at what you can get, and when I say looking at the competition, I'm essentially just gonna name one brand, which is the Cherry. And when you look at Cherry, there's the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro Max. It starts at 669,000 Rand, and then the top of the range is 731,000 Rand. That has the same amount of seats, a lot more features. It has like a 360 view camera, massage seats, all those type of things. And for you to get all of those features in a Tayron, so you can compete with that specific Cherry I'm speaking about, you're looking at close to 1 million, and the Cherry just caps out at around 730,000 Rand. So for me personally, I don't think it's worth it. There's a lot more other cars that obviously you guys are probably thinking about. Right now, I've thought about them, and there's no way I say I'd rather take this over those. It's honestly, for me, for lack of a better term, doesn't make sense why you'd opt for Volkswagen Tayron when there's so many other cars you can opt for. There's some of you guys that can comment, I can get a Fortuner for that amount of money. And 100%, you can get a Fortuner with more power for the price of this vehicle. So it puts this car in a very tight spot to sell and a very tight spot to recommend. Like, I can't recommend a Tayron to you and say, go get a Tayron because of the competition. And on a monthly basis, you're looking at anything, it's on the screen right now, how much the car costs. And remember, if you're looking for a next insurance code, whether it's for this Volkswagen Tayron, the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro Max that you're gonna get, or any vehicle that you currently have, click the link in the description box below. Naked will sort you out. You can get your next insurance code in under 90 seconds. Click the link in the description box below. It's very important because we are doing a 50,000 giveaway with Naked, so that's very important. And yeah, I've told you everything you need to know about this vehicle. What am I leaving out? What am I leaving out? If I'm leaving out anything, you guys will tell me down in the comments down below. Also, remember, if you're looking for a brand new car, head over to changecars.co.za. Michael Pursuit's details are there. Click the Beat My Code tab, and remember, if you're buying a vehicle whether it's brand new from a dealership that's not on the Change Cars website, and you come with the code, Change Cars will beat that code, hence the term Beat My Code, and you'll get a car for a better code, whether it's on your trade-in or on the amount of the vehicle. So that's essentially the review of the Volkswagen Tayron. Should you get it? Wait, what should I say? Do I like it? Should you get it? Should I recommend it? Do I like it? Yes, I really do like the car. Should you get it? Would I recommend it to you? Personally, no, looking at what you can get for the vehicle. But it's very important. I would like to know what you guys think about this vehicle. But yeah, I'm signing out. We've spoken enough about this vehicle. It is a good car, but the price, I think, is what lets it down. It's the exact same thing that we did last week. We spoke about the Audi A3. The price was great. No, the price wasn't great, but the car was great. So why buy it? And I think this is where it leaves us with this vehicle. The car is great, but the price isn't great. And that's why those broods from that side, China, they're eating, because they're coming with good price. But is the car great? Let's leave that for another review, because literally the next review after this was a Chinese vehicle. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, I'm Nicky and Proud Commission Change Cars and all things motoring. I'm signing out.